Right now, on a grocery shelf near you, there is a box that promises you a birthday, a celebration, a homemade moment with the people you love. And the company that printed that promise on the front is legally allowed to hide what they slipped into the back. Here's the forbidden fact. Some of the most trusted cake mixes in America are built on partially hydrogenated oil, petroleum-derived dyes, and preservatives that those same companies quietly leave out when they ship the exact same product overseas. Same brand, same box, different recipe. The packaged baking mix business in the United States moves well over $2 billion every single year. $2 billion. And a handful of corporations figured out a long time ago that the cheapest way to make a cake taste moist and sit on a shelf for 18 months is not butter, and it is not eggs. It is chemistry. I pulled 5 of the biggest names off the shelf and read every word on the back. Then I found 3 brands that still make a cake your grandmother would recognize. Let's get into it. Here is how the trick works. A real cake needs fat, and fat eventually goes rancid. So instead of butter, the big mixes reach for partially hydrogenated soybean or cottonseed oil, an industrial fat engineered to almost never spoil. That is the single ingredient most tightly linked to clogged arteries and heart disease. Then comes the loophole. A label is allowed to print 0 grams of trans fat as long as one serving holds less than half a gram. But a box holds 10, 12 servings. Multiply a number sitting just under the limit by 12, and you can see how that 0 quietly stops meaning 0. Stacked on top of that fat is the rest of the cabinet. Propylene glycol, polysorbate 60, BHA, BHT, sodium aluminum phosphate, and a rainbow of dyes spun out of petroleum. Every one of them does a job for the factory, and not one of them does a thing for you. So let's count down the 5 worst offenders, starting at number 5. Number 5 is Jiffy, the little blue box. Quality and value since 1930, and a fixture in American pantries for almost 100 years. That heritage is real, and that is exactly why people stop reading the label. Flip the white cake box over. The first word is bleached wheat flour, then sugar, then vegetable shortening, which the package itself defines as partially hydrogenated soybean, and cottonseed oil with polysorbate 60 and propylene glycol monoesters mixed in. The golden yellow version adds FD and C yellow number 5 on top of all that. Now look at the leavening. Most mixes use 1 aluminum compound. Jiffy uses 2, sodium aluminum phosphate and aluminum sulfate, doubling down on the metallic shortcut. And if you wander to the cornbread or chocolate side of the Jiffy family, the fat becomes animal shortening, listed plainly as lard and hydrogenated lard. It is cheap, it is nostalgic, and it is held together with industrial fat and a double dose of aluminum. At number 5, or skip it. Number 4 is the one that feels like the smart, frugal choice, the store brand. We will use Walmart's Great Value Deluxe Moist as our example, but every chain has its own twin sitting in the same spot on the shelf. Here's what nobody tells you. The store brand is not a different, simpler recipe. It is the same industrial playbook with a cheaper label glued on. Read the Great Value white box and you find enriched bleached flour, sodium aluminum phosphate, propylene glycol esters of fatty acids, mono and diglycerides, sodium stearoyl lactylate, and BHT listed right there as an antioxidant preservative. Want the confetti version for a kid's party? That one folds in palm oil along with the propylene glycol esters, a combination flagged by the Environmental Working Group as a likely contributor of hidden trans fats through the labeling loophole we just talked about. So yes, you saved $1. You did not save your arteries. You bought the identical chemistry for less money. And number 4, skip it. Number 3 is Duncan Hines, owned by the giant Conagra brands, and this one does not need an ingredient argument to make the case. It has a paper trail. In November of 2018, Conagra recalled roughly 2.4 million boxes of Duncan Hines cake mix. 4 varieties, classic white, classic yellow, classic butter golden, and signature confetti, all pulled after a retail sample of the classic white tested positive for Salmonella agbeni. The Centers for Disease Control and the Food and Drug Administration tied that exact DNA fingerprint to 7 illnesses across 5 states. Now, baking kills salmonella, and the company was clear that you should never eat raw batter. Fair enough, but a recall of 2.4 million boxes tells you something deeper about how thin the safety margin is in a high-volume, low-cost flour operation that is racing to hit a price point. Add the standard lineup of bleached flour and artificial flavor on the back, and the picture is complete. At number 3, skip it. And if these first 3 boxes already have you rethinking your bacon aisle, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button right now. It is free and it tells the algorithm to keep these investigations coming. Number 2 is the icon, Betty Crocker, owned by General Mills. The spoon logo, the name your mother trusted, which makes the back of the box that much harder to swallow. Take the super moist butter recipe yellow. The fat is partially hydrogenated soybean and cottonseed oil, our trans fat headliner. Then comes propylene glycol mono and diesters of fatty acids, an emulsifier cousin of the antifreeze compound. Then sodium aluminum phosphate, then listed in plain sight, BHA as a preservative. BHA matters. The United States National Toxicology Program lists it as reasonably anticipated to be a human carcinogen based on animal studies. That is the federal government's own language on an ingredient General Mills puts in a cake mix aimed at families. Top it off with yellows 5 and 6, both petroleum dyes, and the corn syrup that opens the sweetener list. A trusted name is not the same thing as a clean label. And number 2, skip it. And number 1, the worst offender on this list is Pillsbury, the Doughboy, Moist Supreme, and Funfetti. This brand earns a top spot because it manages to combine almost every red flag we have named into a single box. Start with Moist Supreme Classic White, partially hydrogenated soybean oil, polysorbate 60, propylene glycol monoesters, and then TBHQ, tertiary butyl hydroquinone, a petroleum-based preservative that the FDA caps at a strict legal limit precisely because higher doses raise tumor concerns in animal testing. Now reach for the Funfetti. To make those festive little bits, Pillsbury loads in Red 40 Lake, Blue 1 Lake, Yellow 6 Lake, and Yellow 5 Lake, 4 synthetic dyes, plus BHT as another preservative. It is quite literally a celebration of everything we have been warning you about. Trans fat, petroleum preservatives, and the full dye rainbow in one cheerful box marketed straight at children's parties. And number 1, skip it. Now, before we get to the good news, I need to show you the part that should make every American angry. Those dyes in the Funfetti, Red 40, Yellow 5, Yellow 6. Since 2010, the European Union has required any food containing them to carry a printed warning on the label. The exact wording is that the product may have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. They are called the Southampton 6, named for the British study that linked them to hyperactivity. So the big manufacturers had a choice in Europe: either slap a hyperactivity warning on the box or reformulate with beet juice and turmeric. Most of them reformulated. The European child gets the natural colors. The American child gets the petroleum. The protection exists, just not here. And here is the simplest fix of all. You can make your own dry cake mix in 5 minutes with flour, sugar, aluminum-free baking powder, and a pinch of salt. Store it in a jar, add your own eggs, and real butter on baking day, and you have cut out every single ingredient on this list. I will drop my exact ratio in the description below. Before we name the brands worth buying, let me hand you a 30-second test you can run in the store on any box without me. Check one. Find the fat. If you see the words partially hydrogenated or shortening or polysorbate, put it back. Check 2. Find the color. If you see a color followed by a number, red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6, that is petroleum, and you can do better. Check 3. Find the preservative. The letters BHA, BHT, and TBHQ are your stop signs. If a box passes all 3 checks, it has already beaten 90% of the shelf. So who passes? Let's count up the 3 brands that actually earn your money, starting at number 3. Number 3 is King Arthur Baking Company, and the story here is trust built over time. This company was founded in 1790 in Boston, making it the oldest flour company in the entire United States. It is also employee-owned. Every box you buy supports the people who make it, and it is a certified benefit corporation, which legally binds it to people and planet, not just profit. Their mixes are non-GMO, project verified, with no artificial dyes and no synthetic preservatives. You will pay maybe $1 or 2 more than the Doughboy. For 230 some years of doing it straight, that is a bargain. At number 3, buy it. Number 2 is Miss Jones Baking Company, and this one was born out of pure frustration. Founder Sarah Jones Garibaldi was a lifelong from-scratch baker who took a detour into finance, including a stint at Apple. As her career got busier, she went looking for a shortcut mix she could actually feel good about and could not find a single one with a label she could pronounce. So in 2015, she built her own. Turn over her organic vanilla box and you can read the whole list out loud without stumbling. Organic cane sugar, organic wheat flour, organic tapioca starch, baking powder, natural vanilla, and sea salt. That is it. No dyes, no hydrogenated oil, no mystery letters. Southern Living magazine named it the best boxed cake mix, period. At number 2, buy it. If you are finding this useful, tap that like button for me. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who are tired of being lied to in the baking aisle. And number 1, the best on the shelf, is Simple Mills. The founder, Catlin Smith, was a young management consultant when she cleaned up her own diet and felt the difference in her body. She started blending almond flour mixes on weekends, walked into a Whole Foods with samples, and believed in it so completely that her parents mortgaged their house to put $200,000 behind her. Today, Simple Mills is the #1 natural baking mix brand in the country. The vanilla mix is built on almond flour, organic coconut sugar, and arrowroot. The chocolate runs just 7 ingredients: almond flour, organic coconut sugar, cocoa, arrowroot, organic coconut flour, baking soda, and sea salt. Real food with actual fiber and protein from the nuts instead of bleach, starch, and dye. At number 1, buy it. So there it is. Skip Jiffy, the store brands, Duncan Hines, Betty Crocker, and Pillsbury. Reach instead for King Arthur, Miss Jones, and Simple Mills. And if you have got 5 spare minutes, just make the mix yourself. Here is what I want from you. Drop a comment and tell me which box has been living in your pantry and whether this changed your mind. And if it did, subscribe, because next time we are reading the back of a box you have trusted your entire life.